I'm just making sure I stay on time here. Alrighty, so several years ago, I was living in Germany, and my dad said, well, I miss you, I want to see you. And I said, well, why don't you come to Germany and see me? You know, you can see where I work, you see where I live. And he goes, oh, I don't know about that. Let's just meet in, Iceland halfway, instead. I can show you where you were born, da-da-da. I was born in Iceland, that's a whole story also. But, and I said to my dad, okay, well, this time, we'll go to Iceland, and next time you'll come to Germany. And he goes, I think you're old enough to hear this story. So, it's 1991. CNC Music Factory's Everybody Dance Now is at the top of the charts. My mom's hair is huge. My dad is 30 years old and serving as a lieutenant in the United States Navy. He is stationed in Keflavik, which is 45 minutes from the capital of Reykjavik in Iceland. And so that's where they're living. And my dad is a nurse in the military. So he learns that he has to be sent to Germany to do some sort of certification, something like respiratory tech. And he goes, okay, fine, I guess I'll go. My dad, again, at that time, 30 years old, at the peak of his military career, and is very America. That's the only way I can really describe it. And he still is to this day, but back then, definitely. And also, when he's going to this place, he's not, staying on a military barracks, he's in a hotel. And he's not flying the military planes, he's flying civilians. So this is a very big deal for my dad. And so before he goes, my mother, in blessed memory, comes up to him and says, when you're in Germany, can you please get me a set of crystal wine glasses and a cuckoo clock? Those are the things Rachel wants. Rachel will get them. So he says, okay, fine, I'll do that. And also, just as an aside, normally when you go to a foreign country, you might learn a few key phrases. Hello, how are you, thank you, where's the bathroom, that sort of thing. Again, my dad, being very America, does not do this. Barely passed Spanish class in high school. So he goes on this trip, gets there without incident, does his, certificate stuff for his nursing stuff without incident. He has about a day left before he has to be back at the German airport. So he thinks, okay, I'll just wander into a little village and get what my wife wants. So by a series of, desperate pantomimes, I guess, without speaking German, he buys this set of crystal wine glasses and a cuckoo clock. So he goes back to his hotel room, and he has brought a whole other suitcase, for these items. He's like, well, I want them to be, secure and safe. They're going to be thrown in a baggage hold underneath the plane. And, he's, wrapping everything up with, duct tape and bubble wrap. These wine glasses are not budging at all. And so he gets this cuckoo clock also, and he's messing around with it. He's like, oh, I have to make sure it works. It's not like I'm going to come back and return this, So, and he packs that up with the wine glasses as well. The next day, he goes back to the airport, puts his bag through the X-ray machine. The attendant does one of these. Just very, a little bit shocked. And she starts pointing at the screen and talking to my dad. And again, my dad does not know German, does not plan on learning German or any other language other than English. So he says, lady, I don't speak German. And she's increasingly pointing at this screen and trying to communicate something to my dad. Lady, I don't understand you. He feels something in his back. He turns around. There are two German soldiers, not airport security personnel, soldiers with rifles in his back, screaming at him, pointing at the screen. And my dad is young. He's, in the military. He's not afraid of death. He's just pushing the guns away, I have no idea. And I'm in the United States military, thinking that is going to help him in this case. All of a sudden, there's someone in the crowd, that's forming behind him. He's speaking English. He says, sir, they think you have a bomb. Now we have a scene. Because crystal, when you put it under an X-ray, is not only opaque, but completely black. Everything is packaged up very tightly in this one suitcase that is, making lots of noises, very suspicious, terrible noises when moved around. And that cuckoo clock was still ticking. So the next 8 hours involved my dad being detained at the German airport, all of his luggage being torn apart, all of, his everything. I am very surprised that he did not get taken away by the German police at that point, especially just, how the whole situation was playing out. And I said to him, Dad, so what you're basically telling me is that you're on a no-fly list for Germany, and you're not allowed to be there anymore, and that's why you can't visit me. He goes, well, it's not that I'm not allowed to be in Germany, it's that Germany isn't allowed to be around me. So that is the story of how my father is not allowed in Germany ever again.